Welcome to DeFi Crypto today. Our protocol today is Beefy Finance. Beefy is a very interesting project because it tries to offer a very large multiplicity of vaults on various networks and with various levels of risk. You've got extraordinarily high risk and moderate and lower risk vaults in there. There's hundreds and hundreds of vaults, as we're going to see today. So let's start with Polygon. As we can see, we have 5 different networks available. I'll start with Polygon because it's my favorite because the gas fees are super low. I like cheap gas fees. So you can use it, you can connect with it with MetaMask, but you have to set up all 5, whatever network you need. So if you only need Polygon, you set up Polygon. If you need more than Polygon, you can set up the others as well. They all work pretty much the same way. So, on Polygon, you have quite a few investments there. There's over $143 million in TLV invested, and you have 161 vaults. So there's a huge choice that's offered to you. Okay. Now, be careful because the higher the rates of return, like this one here, which is 39.24 billion percent. Okay, that's probably super risky. Okay, the higher the rate, the higher the risk. Okay, and when you have astronomical rates like this, you can believe that there's probably an astronomical level of risk as well. So before you invest in this liquidity pair USDC, for instance, or Pairmatic or whatever, investigate pair and see if it's a good project or not. Okay, and even if you think it's the project is good, be careful. Typically, this means risky. Okay, very high rates like this mean risky. So, if you wanted to try this, start with a really small amount of money, like I don't know, $50, $100, whatever you think is small. Don't put your whole portfolio on this and think you're going to become a millionaire overnight. It's probably not going to happen. Okay. So, be careful on the super high interest rates. Investigate, do your research, check if pair has been audited or not. I don't know, I haven't checked pair. When I see crazy rates like these, I tend to stay away personally, but that's my choice. Obviously, a lot of people have invested. There's already $492,000 in there and $1 million here. So some people believe it's worth the trouble, but you know, it's probably a very young project with a young team of developers and so on. So be careful with these projects. Okay, anything in the thousands of percent or billions of percents or millions of percent, whatever, super risky. So one way to choose projects in here, to choose vaults, is you check the TVL, that's a total value lock. Typically, when it's pretty high and has several $1 million in it, typically it would be a lower risk project. So for instance, this one comes from Curve. So basically what the way Beefy works is that they allow you to create liquidity pairs, and those pairs are created on various projects like Curve here, and they auto compound them to give you a higher yield, a higher APY. Okay, if you look down, you've got a vault APR of 6.9 plus a trading APR of 1.97, and after it's compounded, that gives you 9.17 per year. Okay, and that's on Bitcoin, Red Bitcoin and Ren Bitcoin, which is, you know, as safe as Bitcoin is. Okay, so there's going to be market fluctuations on the value of Bitcoin, obviously, but you shouldn't have any impermanent loss because those two should be pretty close to each other. Curve is a well-known project. It's been audited and it has a very good reputation. Okay, if you check on several websites, most of them will tell you that Curve's a good project. So again, you have a way to get a very nice 9.17% at a significantly lower risk, right? And then you've got more curves here. Okay, with these are all stable coins. You can get 12.85% and so on. Okay, now you can search like that. You can also search many ways. You can select any token you like. We've got curves again. Let's say we take DeFi. So these are coming from DeFi, but you'll notice that if you go on DeFi and find the route DeFi LP token, you're going to get a lower rate than this. That's probably going to be in that 218 that we see here. And here, it's compounded automatically for you. So that's why the rate, the APY is higher. All right. So that's one advantage of using Beefy. On the other hand, you also increase your risk a little bit, because if there's a bug somewhere or if somebody gets hacked, it's either going to be on Beefy or on DeFi or both. Okay, so if you're only on DeFi, you have the risk of the DeFi protocol. If you're on Beefy and you use a DeFi pool like this, you're going to have DeFi's risk plus Beefy's risk. So that's something to consider. Okay. Yeah, but DeFi has been around for a bit, and it's a reasonably good protocol. It's not the highest security in the world, but I like DeFi, and I think it's a pretty good protocol. So you can look at this and say, okay, if you're considering DeFi, you should consider whether or not you want to deposit your LPs straight on DeFi, or you have the choice of going on Beefy and increase your APY. Okay. And again, you can evaluate how risky it is. Route might be more risky than, let's say, I don't know, Curve, for instance, or ETH. Okay, everybody knows ETH. ETH by itself is, you know, a very important token. So it has a risk of fluctuations and impermanent loss here, but at least everybody knows ETH. Okay, we know it's a good project, we know it's very useful, it's not going to disappear overnight. Okay, and here you can have a really amazing 244%. So that's something to take into account. We also have Matic, Matic, which is, you know, basically the token running Polygon. So again, lower risk than some unknown token like what we saw earlier. But again, you can get a really nice return on this. Got Luna as well is a pretty good project, and so on. So we've got a lot of choices just with the DeFi protocol. You can use any of them. There's hundreds of them, so whatever you want. And let's say we go back to all. It gives you examples of various types of vaults. If you want just single assets because you don't want any impermanent loss, you can invest in all of these directly. Okay, some of these are better known than others, like DAI or AVE, for instance, and you get these rates. Okay. Yeah, you can also select the platform you prefer. So we talked about Curve, we talked about Define, there's DinoSwap here, there's a pile of others. So you can choose the platform that you prefer as well. So if you were considering investing on Curve, you can compare the rates you're getting here and the rates you would get on Curve, for instance. So if we go with Curve, and let's remove that. So now we see we've got 3 different curves. Curve projects, so we can go and compare the rates that we get here on the Curve website and see, okay, are we getting a better return here or not? Okay. All right. So let's have a look at the other most popular network, which is BSC, Binance Smart Chain. And okay. Need to switch networks. Switch, connect the wallet, and are we there yet? Hide 0 balances. Okay, there we go. So this one, because the Binance Smart Chain was the first network that Beefy got on, they have the most vaults, 328 vaults. Also, Binance has a lot of DeFi projects to choose from. So again, you're gonna see some pretty fantastic rates if you sort by APY at the top. Okay. What is this? Oh my God. These quintillion percent, that doesn't even register in my mind. It's a T%. That's got to be a trillion percent. It's ridiculous. Anyway, you can just imagine how much risk you have with this project. You know, my view on these, it's like, okay, it's a gamble. Okay, if you have extra money lying around and you say, okay, all right, let's have some fun. Okay, let's see if we're gonna win anything out of this or not, and if I lose it, well, whatever. I don't really care. Then try it. Okay, but don't expect to become a billionaire overnight with this. Okay, yeah, quintillion percent. First time I see this. I don't think it was that high last time I checked. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, so you can have some pretty astronomical APYs here. I don't know the Honey project. I'm expecting it's very new. I'm expecting it's probably not as solid as other projects. Okay, you do your research. I haven't researched it. Those are pretty amazing rates, yes. Oh, did this change now? Yeah, now it's in the quintillions also. Wow, it was in the trillions just a second ago. Okay, so again, you have a lot of projects here, 300 something projects, 328. So use these menus, okay, for your selections. You got the various coins that are available on Binance. Some of them you're going to see everywhere, like DAI, USDC, or whatever, and others you're going to see only on some networks. Okay, so choose whatever you like. Okay, but investigate the project before you invest. Okay, so if you select burger, for instance, let's take burger. Do we have any burgers? No, we don't. Sorry. Let's see, let's try to find, let's try Bunny. Bunny? Okay, so we got some Bunny tokens. I know Bunny, done a few videos about them. So if you've got the Bunny token and you want to have a good APY, you can check this one out, okay? And compare it with what's on the Pancake Bunny website on the Binance Smart Chain, okay? And see, are you getting a better rate here, or are you getting a better rate on Pancake Bunny? And you make a decision, okay, if you like the Bunny project. Again, investigate the Bunny project first, check their audit. They've been audited. Okay, so but check the audit, read the audit, try to understand the audit, see what it means. If you feel good about it, then you can invest. And again, don't put all your money on one single project, even if you think it's the best in the world. Okay, why? Hackers can happen. When you got attacked twice this year. So you gotta be careful. Don't put like your whole portfolio on a single project. And diversify. Don't put all your money on in the Beefy system, although Beefy seems to have a very wide portfolio of assets, okay, across various networks and various protocols. It's great as a single point of contact. However, we cannot just trust the Beefy team to be perfect, okay? What if somebody hacks the Beefy protocol? What if? And what if they take your tokens and whatnot? So use Beefy. I like Beefy because there's a huge selection, okay? The team has been around for a while. It's almost a year now. And they keep expanding and improving the system. They keep adding networks, they keep adding vaults, they keep adding features and so on. So, you know, it's a very active project. But there's a risk by using only one single protocol. So, I don't put all my money on Beefy. I put it on at least a dozen different protocols. So that gives you an idea of my strategy. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the other networks just for fun. So let's have a look at HECO. And we go here, switch to HECO, connect the wallet. Okay, let's turn it into light. There we go. Alright, this one has 31 volts. Again, you can sort them out. Let's go by APY just for fun. So you see here the rates are a lot less astronomical, a lot more reasonable. But once again, you know, check the project out. You want to make sure that you know, you feel safe about the project first, and you can try all these. Okay, there's a ton of choice here. Let's have a look at the other two. We've got Avalanche. We switch. And we're already there. Alright. So let's go there. We've got 30 volts. Again, we sorted them by APY. So the rates are a bit higher than on HECO here, and these are the projects available. Got some olives here. Wow. Again, I haven't invested much on this network yet, so I'm not familiar with these projects. Some of them might be excellent. I don't know. I haven't looked at them yet. And the last one, we're going to look at the Fantom. So switch Fantom network. And we go there, connect the wallet. Do we need to connect? No, let's connect anyway. And change this. Here we go. So we've got about 40 volts. Some pretty high rates here. I don't know why they all look like ghostly things. I guess because Fantom is a ghost. I don't know. The spooky swap. I don't know. Maybe these rates would spook me because I would think that there's a high risk. I don't know. But that's up to you. You choose where you want to invest, but you should do your due diligence and check out the risk first. Okay. So anyway, this gives you an idea of what's available. As I said, total is about 500 or 600 volts across all the networks here. So there's a ton of choice, and gives you an idea of how vast DeFi is at this point. Just after about 2 years of existence, DeFi has been just multiplied and multiplied and multiplied. So be careful, check out the risk. I'm going to show you various reviews on the Beefy protocol itself. That gives you an idea of the risk here. If we go to RockDoc and we search for Beefy, according to Beefy, they have what they call a low risk. You can check what that means. Okay. They say, as with most vaults, they have elevated governance powers that are to be able to modify and change strategies, and theoretically they would allow them to execute malicious contracts logged behind a 6-hour time log. So technically, the team at Beefy could run malicious contracts and steal your money. However, they say that the team has been very open and transparent, and this, according to RockDoc, they're a talented development team, and they only had one operational incident in their history. And they actually reimbursed users that lost money. So they have multiple CertiK audits and a DeFi yield audit. So that's why they consider it's low risk. All right. Now they say that some vaults contain a high level of risk, and also because they're building on top of other vaults. Like for instance, they're building on top of Curve, Define, Sushi, and hundreds of other projects. So it multiplies the risk. So you have to be careful. All right. Now they do have a CertiK audit, which you can download and view here. And you can see that they resolved all the serious issues. There's just a few findings that remain unresolved. Read the review first. Read the audit first and see if you're convinced about the safety of the project. Now, let's go to DeFi safety. DeFi safety has very strict standards, and unfortunately they don't give a very high rating to Beefy Finance compared to other projects. And that's why I'm showing you all 3 reviews here, because you want to have the opinions of various people that have various criteria. Okay, if you have various teams that all agree that the project is very low risk, then chances are it's very low risk. If you have the opposite, if all the reviewers say it's high risk, then it's high risk. In this case here, I would put it at a medium risk. Okay, 53% is bad according to DeFi safety, but still not the worst. Okay, there are a lot of projects with much worse scores, and DeFi safety, basically what they think about is how to protect the end users, that's us, when we put our money there, okay? They don't just give out these reviews for, to hurt people's feelings, okay? And they explain also for each item how their score can be improved, okay? So you've got a set of 24 criteria, and they tell you, okay, are the executing code addresses readily available? Okay, so it says here clearly labeled, the answer is 70% according to the guidance they've got here. So they have clearly labeled and on website, docs and repo, but takes a bit of looking. So it's not as quick. It's not self-evident where those information are available. It's there, but you gotta search. If it was right there, they would have got 100%. That doesn't seem to be too difficult to fix, okay? Is the code actively being used? The answer is 100%. Yes, they have several hundred transactions per day and so on. Is there a public software repository? Yes. Is there a development history visible? Answer 20%. What does that mean? Well, they got just a few branches. It's not, as good as it could be. So basically, how transparent is it? Okay, are they hiding anything? So the most open and transparent a project is, the higher the score you get. And that gives you a sense of lower risk or higher safety, okay? Because what are they hiding, okay? Why is it difficult to get access to information X, okay, on the project? Are they hiding something? Okay? DeFi safety, that's what they're doing. They try to figure out for you, okay, if there's anything hidden or anything that's not done properly, okay? And that's why they have these set of criteria. So the point of this is for you to decide, okay, is Beefy safe enough for you? And what percentage of your project should you invest, of your portfolio should you invest in this project? Okay, as always, don't put all your money on one single project. But should you put 1% of your project on Beefy, 5%, 10%, 20%, whatever? Okay. Check the reviews and see if you're convinced that the project is good enough. Okay. All right. Personally, I like the Beefy, but I always use caution. I try to avoid the super high project in the billions and quintillions of percent. Or if I feel like gambling, okay, then I'll put a very small amount of money in there. Like maybe, I don't know, $50, $20, whatever, and see, what the hell. And maybe it's going to double the money, whatever. Or it's going to burn the money in 10 seconds, who knows, okay? Just be careful. All right, so that's it for Beefy. If you like this kind of content, click like, subscribe, and download my free book. It's free. And if you don't like free, it's also available on Amazon for $5.99. All right, that's it for today. Have a good time. Bye.